Wind turbines are a possible solution. That's a pretty big hint, I would think, right? But the size of the wind turbines are a challenge. One turbine blade, that's one blade of usually 3, is 150 feet in length and weighs 70,000 pounds. And the nacelle, the center part, is 202 feet and over 740,000 pounds. This is all real facts here. Of course, we're not going to make you pick up 740,000 pounds. Transporting this enormous equipment is a challenge for the trucking industry and America's highway systems. Best Robotics is for answering the call. Can you design a vehicle capable of transporting and maneuvering structures of extreme length and weight? Challenge 1. There'll be cranes on site, so that'll be to help you out to move your stuff. Can you move these structures without negatively affecting America's transportation system? Can you obtain the permits required prior to transporting the cargo? There's something called the OSOW, which is the oversized, overweight permitting that must be completed before you even go into this. And also, in all ways, we must protect the environment. Ooh. Can you ensure that all the endangered species, which, by the way, the reason you did the chicken dance at the beginning, is you're protecting the prairie chicken. I should have had y'all do the cock-a-doodle-doo, that would have been more interesting. Can you ensure that all the endangered species are protected during the transport of the cargo? So, with that, enough hints, right? You want to see this video? Yeah! Do you want to see a video? If you're ready for the challenge, let Blade Runner begin! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your Blade Runner 2014 competition field. Now we're going to get into a little bit of explanation of the rules. Looks complicated, doesn't it? It is. I'm going to let Matt, part of the A team, explain the game rules. Matt?
I assume you don't really need me. This is all pretty well self-explanatory, right? Alright, so we're going to go over some basics. Just before we say anything, I want to let you know there are a lot of rules. They're a bit complicated, and the Q&A is complicated too, so make sure that if you have questions, you go through read the Q&A completely, because there have been corrections, and then more corrections to things that have been declared already. Not to deter you, but there's already over 100 questions posted to the Q&A. It's probably going to go up. Yeah, we're one of the last subs that actually had a kickoff. That's why there's so many questions already. Okay, so to get started, the concept is you have to transport wind turbines, nacelles, and hubs from the nacelles from a stockpile area where your robot starts, for instance, where everyone is standing right now, is where your robot would start. The goal, well, actually our of the goals is to try to come get an oversized, overweight permit, which is basically hitting this right here. It will set off an LED to let you know that you've successfully obtained the permit. We don't have this wired up right now, but imagine on game day, right, like, boom, you got it. That'll let you know that you can continue. Otherwise, anything you do to transport your parts is not going to get you any points whatsoever. Now, you have large blades for your wind turbines. These can be transported across into the assembly area. There's a damaged road. Could be a little tricky to go over this. Or you have the choice to activate gates to open up a bridge that you can use to cross over. So once you do that, you can use either path to try to transport your blades across. Now the goal here is to try to attach them to the large wind turbines in there. It's a large nacelle. Your robot can place it onto the hub like that. You also have a small wind turbine. We'll get into more specifics in just a bit on the large, but in a small wind turbine, you can transport the small nacelle. It has wheels, so it's a little bit easier. It's actually quite heavy, but you still have to find a way to get it over into your assembly area. It will attach to the small tower by essentially just pushing it into the end of the PVC pipe. In addition to that, you have a small blade assembly that needs to be transported and attached to the small nacelle. Good times. The problem, though, is in the way you have 3 prairie chicken environments that have to be accounted for. These are important. If you knock them over, it negatively impacts your score. So first, at least in quite a while, if you hurt the chickens, you gotta pay for it. Now these aren't chickens, these are chicken environments. Chicken essentially a habitat. You have to find a way to safely relocate the chicken habitat. Now, if they're still standing at the end of the day, at the end of the match, you get 4 points. If you can relocate them to a safe zone, which is exactly where the robots are, they're worth 10 points apiece. If you knock them over anywhere on the field, they're worth negative 10 points. Now, I'm not going to get too much into points because there are a lot of different ways to score this game, but that's one of the few things I wanted to at least get the point across. These are important. Take care of them. We don't want to hurt the animals. All right. This is where it gets kind of fun. Let's say your robot has successfully transported all the parts across into the area. You actually get points just for transporting the parts into your area. So you get the blades over here, the hub, the small nacelle. You can get some individual points just for getting it across. If you actually get them attached to the towers, you get points for that. Here's where the spotter, or in this game, it's called the crane operator, comes into play. Once you get everything attached, there's a rope here that represents your crane. Your spotter can raise the tower, lock it into place. And if your robot is capable enough, and we hope it will be, you can then deploy your blades. The large tower is a little bit more interesting. It has the same effect once you get some blades attached. The crane operator can raise this as well. Now this is a bad example. I'm stepping backwards just because I don't have 2 hands at the moment. You still are limited to your space, so you have to do it within the spotter's range, which is actually a little larger this year. You get basically the whole side your quadrant, including a little bit of the opposing quadrant, this can be interesting too. Once these are raised up, they're locked in position. Basically, it keeps them from falling. But once they're raised and the robot is done, you have two methods of storing here. Just getting it on is called store in position 1. But you can essentially lock it in place, store in position 2. The robot can do that, but the spotter is allowed to manipulate these as well. Once they're outside of the control of the robot and it's fully locked upwards. So the spotter can sit here and adjust to try to get more points for completely and accurately assembling it into store in position 2. You get more points for each blade that you have attached, but they all have to be attached in the same direction in order for you to get full points and bonuses. And that's pretty much it as far as the main game places. But here's where it gets a little bit more tricky. There are some Sakurai cacti in the middle, or as we like to call them locally, oak trees along Government Boulevard. These are protected plants. Before the game starts, before your match starts, when you're in the staging area, the pit, you can start trying to negotiate with other players who are going to be playing in your match, and perhaps form an agreement, an alliance, and work together. You both have to agree. You'll be given a co-op card, which you will give to a referee to declare your intent to cooperate. The referee will then attach these in a way that is yet to be completely clarified in the rules for the Q&A. These will be hanged upon the cacti, and if this is declared, the field opens. The field will only open between the two cooperating teams. Now, if other teams decide to cooperate, this will be open as well. But basically, like for instance, we have these two attached to this cactus. So this field will open between yellow and green. What this allows you to do is essentially work together to try to score points. And the teams will share the points that they're able to get. So, for instance, so this essentially gives you easier access to these blades. So yellow and green, this is an example. Yellow and green are cooperating. Yellow can come over here, get a blade, put it on the yellow up. And for that, both teams will share those points. They get 50% of the points though, but that's something you have to work out in your strategy. And to be careful though, remember those chickens? Knock over those chickens, you share penalties as well. So make sure you take care of those chickens. Now, the number of possible combinations here can get a little interesting. However, in this example, we have yellow cooperating with green. Green cannot cross over the damaged road or the bridge for yellow to come over into yellow to get these parts. So it's up to yellow to get the parts into the assembly area. Likewise, yellow cannot cross over green's bridge or damaged road. This is one of the harshest rules I've seen. But if you cross, touch the other side, it's a disqualification. Don't do it. It was always in battle. So stay on your side, make sure you cooperate and form your strategy ahead of time. Hopefully get some points, share them. Now, getting everything attached and everything up with mixed colors on your hubs actually results in bonus points. So I'm going to go over that, so she'll be discussing the Q&A. You're welcome to read those. But I believe that's about it. Just more game. Just for the sake of tradition, we will entertain a few questions for your Q&A, and after that, some more announcements and things of that nature. And you can ask more questions as we come down onto the field. We'll each team have 5 minutes to peruse and start reading this. How long does each team get on the playing field during each match? 3 minutes. Wow. 3 minutes. Typically, though, our hub tries to have 8 matches for the seeding rounds. So you will get 24 total minutes, but each match is unique. Oh, I guess I should mention just for the sake of argument, any part, any game piece touching the robot that the end of the 3 minutes doesn't count for anything. Even if you've got this fully assembled upright, if your robot is touching this piece at the end of that 3 minutes, this piece doesn't count, so you're losing bonuses for having all three on. Same thing with the small nacelles, small assembly. Any questions on this side? Yes. When you run out of time to match, is your score cumulative when the pieces remain in the same spot? No, this is a isolated 3 minute match, so the field will be reset between each match. One more on this side.